If you love African football, you're currently watching the right show. Now, this is the part of the show where we have to troll SC about Simba. You know their trophy cabinets in the Confederation Cup. We can only find silverware in the club's restaurants, really.
No, it's okay, you know what, because I also didn't give them this game. You remember when you asked me about this, when you started talking about this conversation the past week, and I told you that RS Berkane were just going to be rampant.
Yes, I mean, could we put this down to fatigue? Because Simba have played over 5 games in 2 weeks?
Not a chance, you know, this is football, and I think this is what footballers live for, and this is what coaches live for. You want to play in, week out. If you're going to come to the champion stage and talk about fatigue, you're not supposed to be there. Hence, they find themselves in the final. They need to grind it out and make sure that they do something wonderful, because they're coming up against mean machine. Past week, we spoke about the 49 games they haven't lost, which is RS Behan. They've just toppled up by beating Simba 2-0 in this match.
Make it 50 games, unbeaten. Unbelievable.
What is that, you know? We keep talking about RS Berkane and their numbers, and it tells you that this is Muichaban has built such a strong team. You know, you look at players such as Osama Lumlai in that team. You know, you look at Mamadou Kamara. Mamadou Kamara of interest, under 20 Senegal player. What a player in that central midfield. You know what? I think Fabrice Ngoma was found wanting in that midfield of that team. So for me, I look at RS Berkane and I say, you know what? I still continue and say Simba are not gonna come out of this one.
Oh wow! Let's look at moments from that game. We saw Kamara score early on in that game. Kamara rising the highest to head home. And then in the 14th minute, we see Lamloui scoring, doubling the lead. I mean, making it 2-0. And VAR coming to the rescue because it could have been worse. There was a third goal ruled out. Now, Fadlu Davids, he was having a tactical stroke on the touchline. He was screaming. The cameras picked it up.
Yeah.
What should Fadlu do in the second leg?
Look, Fadlu needs to forget talking about or focusing on officials, but emotions are there. It's part of the game. We can't fault him. And for me, I look at that incident, I say he should have just relaxed. I mean, if you've got officials in there doing their job, they continue to do their job. But for me, I think what he needs to bring into this game is to bring a mentality that says, guys, we need to score 3 goals, not 2 goals. And can they do that against this RS Berkane team? Honestly, I don't think they can do it. They can get a goal, but the danger of this is that they're playing against the team that knows how to find pockets. They're playing against the team that knows how to shape themselves in terms of triangles play. And RS Berkane does that so well with the kind of players they have.
Speaking of teams that know how to find pockets, let's talk about the CAF Champions League, Pyramids versus Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, I was thinking of Peter Shalulile because he's good at finding pockets when it comes to
the net. Definitely the net.
How he handles it, like just the space between the central defender and the fullback.
Yeah.
He knows how to find those spaces and just exploit defenses. Do you see him getting away with it? Because if I was the coach, if I was the coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, and thankfully I'm not, I think I'm going to play Reyners and Shalulile.
You wouldn't be wrong, ideally, you know what, in a hypothetical world, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, I think Sundowns is, speaking of Peter Shalulile alone, well-experienced player, you know what, grounded in terms of what he wants to do, in terms of his basics in football. He does them so well, you know what. And he's good when he's playing with his back turned on his own poles, but facing the opponent's poles, instead of facing the opponent's facing out his poles, you know. And you look at that alone, it sends a message to say, I think he's got the players that know how to find him. You look at the players in the midfield, such as Adelani and Teboho Mokoena, superchargers in the team, you know. You look at the centre back, you look at a Grand Gegana that had probably in the number of passes in the whole entire league, he's sitting at number 2. Next to a Malibongwe Khoza, you know that. So it sends out a message to say, this is going to be an interesting fixture. Funny enough, this fixture, 2020-23, these two teams met, you know, in the group stages. I'll tell you something interesting. Sundowns topped their group and Pyramids were at the bottom in 2023. Okay. And this is a second meeting for the two teams, and both the teams had almost the same players. Fiston Mayele was still there, Mohamed Fati was still there. In Sundowns team, you look at that, your Teboho Mokoenas were there, you know, your Tapelo Morenas were there, your Tembazwanes were there. So they come again in this fixture to face one another. And
so do you think Miguel Cardoso is going to watch this show? Because I need to send a message to him. Perhaps I should keep Suarez on the bench, maybe?
So RS hasn't been playing that much, to be honest with you, Ade. If you look at Sundowns, how it has shaped up.
Since what happened in the Nedbank Cup, right?
Look, formations are there to be changed and tweaked. And I think for these kind of games, you need your best players. And both teams, Jurisic is such a coach that is very tactical. And I think Cardoso knows that he's coming up against a good coach. And
Mamelodi Sundowns seem to struggle with low crosses into the box. Now, on the pyramid side, what do you think they're going to struggle with? Because going forward, they have 2.3, they score an average of 2.3 XGs, yeah, a game.
What Pyramids needs to do in this game is to box well. And when I say box well, is that Pyramids almost plays a similar type of football that Sundowns plays, but now Sundowns takes it a notch up in terms of the moments they pick. Sundowns doesn't mind holding the back, the ball for quite some time, in their own half, just passing it around the two CBs. Can they be patient enough? We saw it against a team they played in the semi-finals, and Pyramids were just waiting for that moment to pounce. Sundowns doesn't have those elements. Sundowns is very tactical. Sundowns knows how to prize on teams such as this, and I think they're up for something else. But again, you look at a Fiston Mayele, he spoke about crosses. I think lower crosses are not that much of a trouble for Sundowns, but aerial balls are a problem, and this is where a Fiston Mayele prize. And putting himself in between the two centre-backs, Grant Kekana and whoever would be there, ideally would be Libusa, which gives Sundowns a balance in the two. I think they've got their work cut out, but remember, it's starting at home for Sundowns, and I think Sundowns need to be rampant if they want to win this one. They should finish it here.
Yes, I mean, your Jaden Adams is going to be crucial in this game. Who are the crucial players on both sides?
Look, as I said to you, you've got Mohamed Fati who's playing on the right wing.
Mohamed Fati.
With the left, he knows how
Reminds me of Mohamed Salah.
Ideally, left-footed players that know how to invert, very interesting player.
Fiston.
You've got Fiston Mayele, but prior to getting to Fiston, you need to talk about the midfield that feeds Fiston Mayele the balls. You've got a guy.
Because they play a lot of long balls.
Not entirely, to be honest with you, Adelani. That's a team that plays ball. If you look at the game against Pirates, they were literally coming at Pirates to say, we'll knock it around, especially when they played Pirates at home. I think most of us were shocked to see a Pyramids team playing the ball the way they played it. I think even the Pirates players were a bit shocked. So I think Sundowns need to look out and say, we're not going to give you the ball. Sundowns will literally not give you the ball. And you look at the question that you asked in terms of the effectiveness of the midfield, it's going to be a battle of the midfield because you've got a Torre in the Pyramids team who's very intelligent in terms of how he moves. He's got a Sobhi in there. So it's going to be interesting.
So quickly, your prediction?
I say Sundowns to win this match 2-0.
Sundowns to win the match 2-0. So, hey, the Yellow Nation really do SC a favor and make him smile, because we know that in this particular competition, they have more cobwebs in their trophy cabinet than trophies, Champions League trophies. Well, we're going to see a game between tradition and ambition. Mamelodi Sundowns versus Pyramids is going to be an incredible match. SC, thank you for joining us again.
Always a pleasure being here talking football. We love it.
All right, stay tuned because we're speaking to Auntie Diski next.